Hello, it's me. If you haven't met me before, my name's Sunday. A couple of years ago, I used to do lots of Facebook Lives. I had an agreement, a daily agreement to do a Facebook Live every day. And I used to go up on a hill, if those of you who remember, I used to go up on a hill near where I lived and did it outside on the moor near Ilkley where I live. Anyway, I'm not up there anymore. I'm now in a flat and I've moved right down near to the river, so I'm near the river, so I'm doing it from home now. And it's interesting, I have more resistance to doing it inside than I do outside. I feel comfier doing it outside. And I'm talking about how do you... Hello, Dina. Steve, hi. I've come on today to talk about how do I keep my vibe high? You know that phrase that, how to stay high without the use of anything. Although I have just had my breakfast. Because food is a way, isn't it? Putting good food into your body. But the sort of high that I'm talking about is how do I stay full? How do I not get the energy sucked out of me? There's a lot of talk about high vibration. And at one time I didn't have a clue what that meant really. And now I do. I do have that sense of what being high and staying high, full. It's connected to love, and it's away from fear. So it's not that I'm living in a fear place, I'm in a love-based place. But I didn't used to like Monday mornings, and I didn't used to like Sunday nights, because Sunday nights, and it's interesting, I had a client once who really didn't like Sunday nights. He didn't, from Sunday lunchtime through to bedtime, he just didn't enjoy his day. And I remember, I supported him, we supported each other really to move through that and realise that he was in the wrong job. And that's massive, isn't it? Especially if you're the main breadwinner, which, a lot of people are. They feel like they've got to stay in the job for the money, to keep the house, to keep the family, etc. But when you're in a job that isn't serving you, Sunday nights, Sunday afternoons can be a bit of a drag. Monday mornings, it's well known that people, most heart attacks occur on a Monday morning. So there's that practical sense of keeping yourself in a high vibe state, in this high energy, how to stay high. And my Sundays now are different. I love my Monday mornings, and I've set it up. I've been able to set it up so that I've got a couple of clients in the morning. I have a leisurely get out of bed, and I do my practices. I do the things that bring rhythm into my life, that set me up for my morning. But what I've noticed, and if you haven't read the Celestine Prophecy book, my recommendation would be that you read that book, because it really does show us a future, a possibility of how humans are evolving towards. And it's a storybook, and it's got messages throughout it, which I've found. I read it years ago, and I've just read it recently. And when I've finished it, I'm going to reread it, and I might even get it on Audible so that I can listen to it. Because I'm finding that books that I listen to, because I'm a skip reader, I sort of like miss certain words and don't read every word that's there. And so I've noticed that hearing books being read, they seem to land more in me, so I'm going to get it on Audible and listen to that. But the messages in there are really around how to keep your vibe high and how to connect with each other in that higher state of consciousness, of awareness, of beingness. And those words wouldn't mean much to me when I was asleep, when I didn't have an awareness around myself and what I call the bigger picture of how the world is. And and I'm a relationship coach, I'm a healing from estrangement coach, and my work involves me helping people to get past disconnect with each other. And what I'm noticing about me is to stay connected, and it sounds so like trite to me in the language that I have to use, because it's more of a sensing and a knowing rather than this is how to do it. Because my heart, when I'm open, when I'm full, when I've looked after myself, when I've nourished myself well, when I'm rested and I'm doing the things that I love and I've got no resentment in me, that's a big indicator. You know, like resentment's such a great tool to use in determining what you're doing that's serving you. It might very well be serving everybody else. It might be serving the planet. Well, it isn't really, but that's another conversation for another day. And if I'm not serving myself, the resentment shows me where I'm not doing that. And then I have a difficult conversation to have, perhaps, or a different decision to make. But what I've noticed is that when I honour myself, my vibration, my sense of well-being, my sense of contribution, my sense of connection to other people goes up. It just has to. And my open-heartedness, my playfulness, my sense of joie de vivre can really come through. And as much as we've done all the punishment and prisons and all the critical feedback, the judgments, all that way that we've looked to control people, other people's and our own behaviour to create a community and a human collective. Excuse me, I'm hot. I'm about to pop. What is truer, and we sort of know this on this subliminal level, that what creates great results is love and connection and enthusiasm and opportunity and encouragement, you know. And I've been a parent, you know, I parented from that restrictions and controls and limits, and you know, because that's the way I was shown how to do it. And yet now inviting people into their own knowingness, into their own creativity, and even if it's different to mine, and that's where the work is for me, is if somebody has a different way, why would I not see that as an expansion of everybody rather than a restriction of me? You know, and it's such a lovely thing to consider that if somebody's got this idea of creative idea that looks impossible or difficult, or why would I not get behind them and cheer them on with that? Because it's all needed. We're all these different flames, all these different threads in the weave, and I feel inspired when I can really get in touch with my heart, and no matter what's going on in front of me, I can extend love and compassion, and you know, if there's any discord, that I can still keep from that compassionate place, because that keeps me high, keeps me full, keeps me engaged, keeps me attractive, keeps me attracting, you know, and because that it's so indicative, and I don't do it all the time, you know, I'm not superhuman yet. Haha. I'm working on it though. No, when I notice when I close down, when I become shy or reserved or resistant or just don't participate, you know, that folding up that we do. Our body shape changes, our energy changes, we give off a different vibration, and we can attract others who are in that low vibe, and then we get sucked down the tubes together. You know, we'll go on a bender, or we'll sit in a group and moan about things, or criticize things, or get into that that pot of I don't like the world, I don't like people, you know, all that sort of conversations that feel so delicious, and then afterwards you think, oh, why do I feel so awful? And then you go eat something to feel better. Anyway, that downward spiral into lower vibrational energy, lower energies, disconnect, that folding up. So to actually bring out, everything changes. The sternum goes up, the shoulder blades go back and down, the stomach lifts, the posture changes, and the energy changes. And then the essence. And I'm not one of those lucky people that can see energy in sort of shapes and colours, and that's something else I'm working on too, looking at to see if I can see things vibrating. I have a sense when different people's vibrations, you know how you can tell whether somebody's a high energy or a low energy. You know, it's a great practice. That's So the advanced version of people watching is that, you know, it's like, okay, so what are they vibrating at, you know? And you can tell in their body posture, you can tell in the way they move their bodies, you can tell in the way they look. There's a sensing that I have. I'm not sure everybody else gets this, but it's something that I've obviously, my body and my personality or whatever has trained myself into assessing other people's energy, you know, and do I want to hang out with that person? And in the Celestine Prophecy, they talk about, you know, those magic moments when you make an eye connect with somebody. You know, you could be driving in a car or traveling on a bus, or, you know, there's something about some person your eyes meet. And the wisdom in the Celestine Prophecy book is that those are the people that you're supposed to talk to, because they've got a message for you and you've got a message for them. You may never have a relationship with them or anything, you know, like a friendship or anything like that. It's just in that moment there's a calling to go there, be with that person. It happens in spaces as well. You get a flash of inspiration. Our inspiration and intuition is working all the time. It's just whether you notice it or not. You know, you get these inspired messages that come from seemingly nowhere. And I like to think it's the universe, the goddess, whatever, the big energy, the thing that we don't, God, the thing that we don't really know what it is sending this intuitive, invitational message to either talk to that person or go to that place or make that meal or buy that food, or, you know, all those sorts of things that we just take for granted, or we don't even notice them sometimes. They're like thoughts that float in and out. But I guess that's our intuition and our inner wisdom, because really we're an untapped resource, this thing that we live in and this brain that we have that we seem to be at war with most of the time. It seems to be people focusing on the negative thoughts. You know, I've done that, you know, like I must change my negative thoughts, and hey ho, guess what? I get more negative thoughts because I'm focusing on them. I'm having negative thoughts about the negative thoughts. We do get ourselves into a pickle, don't we? It's all this correction and control and punishment. I mean, whoever invented that for us was really on, I suppose we had to go through that journey, through that evolutional journey. But it's very inspiring, is the Celestine Prophecy. I keep seeming to keep coming on to recommend books. Yesterday I recommended The Three Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. So I found that to be very useful. Did I say 3 or 4 agreements? Anyway, 4 agreements. And The Celestine Prophecy is another book that I would recommend. So maintaining a high vibration, which sounds like something out of, I don't know, the spiritual, spiritual, soulful world, which for some people I guess is like an alien language, really. And maybe for most of us on my timeline it's not, you know, and but maintaining that high vibration, that sort of high energy, is something that I think is going to bring more value to the world than anything else, really. And that's my work, and that's what I'm enjoying doing. So have a beautiful Monday, and if this inspiration to get on to daily to Facebook Lives every day still hanging around tomorrow, I'll be on tomorrow. I love you lots. See you soon. Bye.